ist Sunny und man werde meinen Namen so schreiben ist SUNNY. Und du?
Ich würde meinen Namen schreiben mit LUCAS, aber manchmal in Deutschland schreibe ich es mit einem K.
Ja, und wir in das Auto going to get barbecue. And yeah, so sorry about if it's gonna be shaky and a little bit noisy, but it is what it is.
We have to get the barbecue.
We have to get the barbecue. So, but this kind of transitions into the greater point is about German food, but not like the standard bratwurst that we think, or like the currywurst or schnitzel. Yeah. So, like, what is like kind of German
food? So I grew up in Köln.
Yeah.
And in that sort of area, it's very common to have something called a Brotklöß,
Yeah.
which you would sometimes put in either soup or just by itself.
Yeah.
And if there was ever like a frost or something,
Right.
it was apparently it actually made the Grünkohl softer. And so what you would do is you would go to like the markt or something. You would take the Grünkohl and you would put it in a pot, add some butter, maybe some pork.
Yeah, okay.
With maybe like a vegetable broth or something.
Oh, okay.
And you actually would have a pretty good stew there.
So it's like bread, right? Or it's like
Yeah, so Brotklöß would be more like a little like a
yeah, dehydrated.
tyke, like bread
Yeah.
spreading sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the Grünkohl, so like kale sort of pot,
Yeah.
was more so like a winter thing, like a feel good.
Yeah. Okay. And I kind of forgot to mention this, but you were born. Where were you
I was born in Berlin.
You were born in Berlin, and how long have you been living there?
About 10 years, so I spent a little bit of my childhood there.
Yeah.
But every summer, even when I went to America,
Yeah.
I would go back
Yeah.
in the summers for like 2 to 3 months.
Right.
To visit my family. I have some in northern Lübeck,
Yeah.
some in Köln, but I have not been back to Berlin in a while.
All right. And how did we first meet? We met. Okay. So we knew each other a lot, and we went to the same middle school, and we kind of knew each other, but we never really talked to each
Yeah.
other. But
I mainly started noticing you because and you became pretty big in the German club, and
Yeah.
eventually like the president.
yeah, I was.
And so then I met you through that, I think.
Yeah, I was president of German club in high school, and we just started hanging out together after that, and so and then now we're both at A&M. We're not roommates or anything, but like we're still like really close friends, and that's how we have known each other for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
So but we've heard of each other previously for like multiple years, I guess. And then, but speaking of, going further into Germany, let's talk about German landscape.
Okay.
The geography of Germany, because United States is huge, but Germany is also pretty big. So
so definitely one of the things that is sort of different is a lot of people spend a lot of their time outside.
Right.
And so, for example, one of the places that I usually went to was a place called Drachenfeld. It was like a dragon field sort of thing. And so they have a pretty good history there. They have a little some side Ausstellungen where you'd have like a dragon little piece because that's where the namesake's from. But in general, there are a lot more outdoor activities that you would participate in outside.
Yeah.
And hiking is just one thing that I feel like most Germans can decide with.
So like I was thinking about like so in Germany there's the mountains, right? That's also like along with France that shares like what's that mountain range called again?
The Alps.
The Alps. Yeah. So I was thinking it's like Germany is pretty diverse in landscape, right?
Definitely.
They also have like beaches as well, right? Or
so
like
if you go to northern Lübeck, there's actually a bunch of beaches there, and funny enough, there's because it's more socialized and they care more about like the social aspects of its populations.
Right.
What you can do is every few years, if you're overstressed or something, you can apply to go to Northern Europe.
Yeah.
And doing the beaches.
Yeah.
You can spend some time there to relax and refocus.
Yeah.
And it's paid by the state, which is actually pretty
really?
good. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, let's, and then I guess we can move on to like, not really the geography or the landscape of Germany, but more of like the cities that like inhabit Germany. So like, let's say for like Berlin, like I'm pretty sure there are like a lot of churches, a lot of
cathedrals, churches, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of history because Catholicism was pretty big in Germany.
Right.
So definitely architecture is very big because my mother studied as an architect when she was in Aachen.
Yeah.
So if we were to go back, definitely would look at some more of the architecture.
Yeah. And like, do you know like where the places of like those traditional German housings are, like the German buildings, just like
the Dörfer, like the specific.
Yeah. It's like what? It's like a white building with like wood frames.
Those are just spread out throughout Germany.
Throughout Germany. Yeah, like all over the countryside, inside the city, everywhere. Yeah. All right. Cool. And then I guess we can say with like religion as well. We can go into religion because we talked about like churches and cathedrals and Catholicism. Like what's pretty big in religion-wise, because Germany's actually pretty diverse.
It is pretty diverse, but it's primarily Catholic. Some Protestant regions.
Really? I thought it was like Christian.
Well, Christian's like the base and the most of the
okay.
But so basically, you'll find a lot of smaller traditions. For example, the reason why Germany spends most of its time, most of the Sundays off, because people perceive it as like a day for rest.
Yeah.
And so they will get pretty mad at you if you do talk too loud or mow your lawn or something.
Yeah.
But it also lends itself to a couple of superstitions that sometimes you'd see. For example, like if you'd wish someone a happy birthday before it actually is their birthday, they consider that as bad luck.
Right.
And so you constantly see little things like that will come up. But
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're like crossing lines right now.
Make sure we don't hit a car.
Yeah, make sure we're not gonna get into a crash. But that's actually
16 miles. Continue straight.
Pretty like culture-wise, German superstitions in general. So like, I don't know about like American superstitions. Do you know anything about like American superstitions?
I mean, besides breaking the glass, 7 years of bad luck.
All right. There's like
walking underneath.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of most of those superstitions come from British backgrounds.
Yeah, right. There's not like really any traditional American superstitions. Like maybe there's like sayings. There's like step on the crack, break your mama's back, something like that. But honestly, like I don't think there's like anything really heavy for like German wise or like American wise that are like very superstitious. Maybe for like sports, but I think that's like on a personal personal basis though, not like something that's universal or like a common American culture. And then I guess since we hit all of geography, let's move into politics actually. And so how were you brought up in your family? Because were politics like a big part of your family?
So the way the system works in Germany is that you usually, if you identify with a certain political group, you would pay into them so you become a member of it. Okay. And my parents were primarily with the FDP group.
Right.
So
what's the FDP?
So we're like a democratic national party. So
like a liberal?
It was more liberal. Obviously, if you compare it to America, even parties like CSU would be sort of liberal, right? Okay. But it's more liberal than even like the CDU or CSU. So that definitely shaped my views on things like healthcare, like abortion sort of things, schooling, basically ways that the state should be helping the people. Right.
And then, so like, do you know a bit about like, because you're talking about your family, but do you think you know about like a little bit more about German people as compared towards Americans
in terms of the way they act,
and towards like their
thinking? I think definitely the way that we grew up here in America it's because it's a pretty capitalistic sort of
Right.
thinking.
Right.
Most people are brought up to think that, you know, I am in control of my own and my own good, and that the state should just stay out of it.
A lot of I was just gonna say this, but a lot of Americans are like really independent, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess like for Germans, I guess is like they're like pretty like all together.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, why would you pay for universal health care if you don't ever get sick?
Yeah.
Right? But that's sort of I don't know if I call it selfish thinking, because technically everyone is self-interested.
Yeah.
But it's just a different way of thinking of your fellow citizens. Right.
So there's like more camaraderie in like for fellow Germans.
Definitely.
All right.
And I mean, you hear cases all the time in the United States where people would rather die than get called an ambulance because of the cost.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that thinking in itself, I mean, there are things to find good in both systems, but that thinking alone should be a pretty big red flag.
Yeah. So now that you actually mentioned like the FDP, CSU, and CDU, like what do you think about? Because like there's like a really big, huge two-party system in America, so Democrats and Republicans, right? But like, what do you think about like Germany with their multi-party system?
So I definitely, personally, I believe that the multi-party system is better for people with different viewpoints, because proportionally, the amount of people that view a certain way will be more represented in the Congress that they have.
Yeah.
So, in terms of, for example, most people told that if they don't view between either Democratic or Republican side, you're throwing your vote away.
Yeah.
But if someone does view that their vote lies in independent, you, in Germany at least, even if you were in a minority party, you still feel like your voice is being heard.
Okay, you're still part of the party.
You get seats in Congress if you have enough people.
Okay, that actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of people have their voices heard.
Yeah.
There's a lot more diversity.
Definitely.
And then like not everyone's just clumped together. So like even though like you would align yourself as a Republican, you're not really a true Republican.
Exactly. I mean, most people, I think the majority of the United States population falls between the independent category, 40% or something. And so they will have to end up compromising more than if there was a multi-party system, and you could maybe find more in line with a specific party than with two.
Actually, but so like I'm just gonna go back to like high school German. So like we kind of learned about like German political parties, and that like the political parties kind of like absorb each other.
So I mean, sometimes they work together. For example, like in coalitions.
Yeah, coalitions.
But in general, I wouldn't really call it like ganging up on the others. It's more of if you find common ground with common thinking, then you could sort of combine your influence in certain ways.
Okay, so like that's what I was thinking. Is like, what if like I get like I'm just saying that as like a hypothetical. It's gonna be like millions of years before like it actually happens. But like, what if there's so much coalition going on that it devolves into like a two-party system? So like the CDU has all the like
that's always a possibility. But I think recently there was a split in the coalition between CDU and CSU, I believe, or something like that similar. So it's at least it seems like some sort of monopoly coalition is not going to be coming up in the future, because I mean I don't know if it's a conservative wave right now going on or liberal wave, but definitely there's a lot more differences of opinion. So I mean, no one's just thinking one specific way in Germany. There's definitely still a pretty diverse set of ideas, which is good for problem solving. Okay,
and then so I guess like that's like enough of politics, I guess. And then let's just go into like entertainment. We don't really see a lot of German, talk about a lot of German TV. But like we know like music-wise, 99 Luftballons.
99 Luftballons.
Like so, like how about you? Like, do you watch German TV? You into that?
So, growing up, a lot of the TV shows and movies that we did have either were just in English or were dubbed with German. So you do have a little bit of influence in that. But in terms of German like native TV shows that I really enjoyed, there were some things like Bernd das Brot, which was like a kids show. So like
Burn the Bread or something.
or like Barney, like the that in English, right?
Yeah.
You had Zatman, so like you have like sort of like a nighttime thing that you could have for kids before they go to bed.
Yeah.
You even had sort of teen. I wouldn't really call it a reality TV show, but it's more like a teen show.
Yeah.
It's called like Schloss Einstein.
Okay.
Which was pretty interesting. I mean, even children or adults that I meet now,
Yeah. Still remember
like 10 years, like even 10 years older than me, also watched it during that
Still
time.
be watching
So,
Schloss
Einstein.
Schloss Einstein.
Castle Einstein.
Castle Einstein. Alright. You know what? That's pretty good. What about music? Do you listen to German music? Anything about that?
I'm not super big into German rap specifically because it's just not my taste. But
Okay.
older German music I actually still enjoy. For example, like the band Neunhundertste stuff.
Okay. And then I guess like since we can transition this into like economy. So you actually, I know this about you. You actually had an internship. So
I did have an internship.
Yeah, you had an internship with a like German medical?
Yeah, so it was called Träger, which is medical technology.
Yeah.
So it means like Medizin für das Leben, so like medicine for life, for the living or for life.
Yeah.
And so I did spend a couple of weeks there, and I will say another good thing about the German system is that they do try to get their students, or at least like young teenagers, into the workforce, the work experience pretty early.
Yeah.
So one, they get an idea of what they might want to do in the future, but also so you just get experience of being in a workforce. Because I think most of us, if like for example, if you grew up here, you wouldn't really get that sort of experience, right?
Yeah, I haven't had any.
Exactly. So it's the work relationship with students was much better. So when I went there, when I was I think 17 or 18, actually 17,
Yeah.
Most of the other interns that I was with were either 15 or 16, which was pretty interesting. But so I learned a lot about the way, for example, German companies function and how they work with other countries in the EU.
Yeah.
But just the fact alone that students were being exposed to these work environments pretty early.
Yeah.
Meant like even if it wasn't for you, you would still have something in the future. To base it off of.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's it. I guess
nothing else.
I got nothing else. Do you want to talk about anything else? You got anything on your mind? We hit all.
Besides anything else basic like soccer, I think.
I
think we hit.
We hit all the nails. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's it. Ja, tschüss. Mein Name ist Sunny und das ist Lukas.
Danke für das Gespräch.
Ja. Und danke. Vielen Dank. Und
bis bald.
Bis bald. Tschüss.